Hey there, it's Angela, and I'm so glad you found your way here to architecting. Creative careers can be stressful, and it's hard to be vulnerable, but this is your landing pad for raw honesty. I'll help you get clarity, reconnect with your passion, and have the career of your dreams. If you're ready to make a difference, have an impact, and say bye-bye to burnout, stick with me, and let's get architecting.
Hey, Bright Lights, happy St. Patrick's Day. We are going to talk all about the idea of luck today, especially when it comes to careers. A lot of people think that luck is about chance. Something just falls into your lap. Maybe you don't even deserve some of the things that happen to you. And I want to unpack why that is completely the wrong way to think about your career. First of all, it does make you feel that you didn't deserve or didn't earn what you've achieved, that maybe you just got lucky. Think about how many times we dismiss what someone has achieved by just attributing it to them being in the right place at the right time, or knowing the right people, or having resources that we didn't have. And what we don't do in those moments is understand that luck favors the prepared. People who seem like they're lucky really just have a lot of clarity about what they want, good boundaries that help preserve their energy from being diffused into things that they don't care about achieving. And most of all, they are willing to say yes to opportunities instead of second guessing themselves. I have to share, today would have been my grandfather's 111th birthday. He got the biggest kick out of the fact that his birthday was on St. Patrick's Day. So even though we were an Italian family and he was an immigrant, we always went all out. We decorated for the holiday. We wore green. Shamrocks were everywhere. And you all know how I love the deeper significance and spiritual connections that things have. So since he would have been 111, I thought I would share the numerology of the number, which really kind of surprised me with the day and the topic for today, because in numerology, the number 111 is a sign that you're going to get an opportunity or meet with good fortune. Hey. But it's also about achieving a goal you've been working on or a new beginning. Even the number for today is really all about taking action, trusting your intuition, knowing that your hard work is going to pay off, aka what we usually call luck. I also wanted to talk about luck because we're continuing our celebration of Women's History Month here in the architecting community. Our first episode of March, which happened during Women in Construction Week, was all about the fact that women often don't feel heard, and I gave some great advice on how to flip the script on that, including using conversation cliffhangers. Then we moved into International Women's Day, where I did a great interview with small firm owner and founder of the AIA Ohio Small Firm Exchange and person who helped bring back our Women in Architecture committee here at AIA Cincinnati, Sarah Kleiner, about her career and why she was committed to being active in the architecture community. I've also had the opportunity to attend two great events. One was actually sponsored by the Women in Architecture Committee in Cincinnati, where they brought in Kelly McAloney, who is one of the people behind Architect Barbie. She's an architect and historian. She presented her research that went into her latest book all about the career of Louise Blanchard Bethune, who, if you didn't know, is somebody who absolutely seized opportunities, who bucked convention, who asked for the opportunities she wanted, and was a trailblazing woman architect at a time when there weren't very many of them. She was a firm owner, a leader in the profession, the first woman to be admitted into the AIA, and its first woman fellow. It was really, really exciting to see how someone who really dealt with a lot of adversity, instead of focusing on the lack, focused on the opportunity and made the career she wanted to make for herself. Just a few days ago, I had the opportunity to be part of a panel discussion talking about women's careers and especially the importance of having a support system, having a plan, and getting your license for the Bowling Green State University's NOMAS and AIAS chapters. So we're talking to people that are still going to architecture school, but really trying to get them thinking about how to make their own opportunities. And I wanted to share some of that with all of you today because I think whether you're licensed already or not, whether you've had 1 year of work experience or 20, we all can get disillusioned from time to time. Projects don't always go smoothly. In fact, they usually don't go smoothly. Clients don't always want to take the risk to do the things that would really benefit them, and that can feel discouraging. Office politics are a reality. But the important thing is not to view failures or setbacks or disappointments as clues that you are doing the wrong thing. In fact, they're usually clues that you're doing the right thing and that you should keep doing more of it. You're learning from the failures how to do it better next time, and eventually you're going to have that magic happen. So how do you set yourself up to succeed? Well, it starts with making sure that you have a support group, that you have people that are going to hold you accountable, whether your career goal is getting licensed, getting a specialty certification, joining a professional organization, taking on a leadership role. You need people that are telling you you can do it, that are going to hold you accountable to achieving what you wanted to achieve. Just like a financial advisor would tell you that the sooner you invest in your retirement, the bigger the dividend is going to get, the same is true about investing in your career. They will tell you that someone who could only save $10 a month or $20 a month, but started doing it as soon as they got their very first job, will come out further ahead than someone who can invest more money but doesn't start investing until they're in their 30s. That is the value of compound interest. Well, compound interest happens in your career too. Every small move that you make today is going to pay dividends for you in the future. So it makes sense that every opportunity you take, everything you can accomplish today, even if it seems like a small move, 5 years from now, how much further ahead are you going to be? A lot further ahead than the person who said, I don't have time for that, or I'll do it later. There are still so many myths out there, false choices put out there about what it means to get licensed, about what it means to be successful. And the myths have to do with it costing you everything. When the price of success feels like it is too high of a cost, of course you're not going to want to pay it. I want to look at the different kinds of costs that we have. There's financial costs, but there's also the cost of our time. There's also the cost of our expertise. When we can leverage those things, we get started to see that we can make time for the things that are going to pay off even more for us later on. Make sure you have a support group, whether those are friends or colleagues or mentors, any combination. Make sure you have people in your life who are going to hold you accountable, who are going to encourage you when you've encountered a setback. Maybe you didn't pass one of those licensing exams, but that's okay. Keep going. People who are going to say, when's your next test? Did you schedule it? That's important. Make sure that the people in your life know that you need to set aside time. Make sure you structure your day. Are you a morning person? Get up an hour earlier and hit the books. Are you someone who can take time at lunch? Go ahead and do that. Are you an evening person? Whatever it is, put it on your calendar. Make it a priority to work towards this goal. Remember, if you're even studying half an hour every day, you're going to be ready for those tests. Look for what you don't know. I shared with the group that math has never been my strong suit. And at the time I was taking the licensing exam, there were 2 different structure exams. I didn't feel real good about my odds with those. So I found a place in Phoenix, at the time I was living in Tucson, that offered the class to prepare you to take the 2 structural exams. And so for 4 weeks, I drove every Saturday from Tucson to Phoenix. It's a 2-hour drive one way, mind you, to take this class because I knew that I needed to pass those 2 tests. And I did. I passed them both on the first try. But that was because I knew that I needed help and I was willing to do what it took to get that help. Don't forget to ask your boss. Many companies offer reimbursement for tests, will give you time off that is not your vacation or PTO time to take the tests. Many companies, like I know at GBBN where I work, we have invested in a set of study materials. So anyone who wants to be preparing for the test can use those study guides for free. Talk to your local AIA chapter or your state chapter. Many of them also have these study resources that are available for free. Do what it takes to have the resources of time and the resources of information available to you. The sooner you get that license, the sooner you get to call yourself an architect. Well, that might seem in today's world like not that big of a deal. I mean, most architects aren't the ones stamping the drawings. Why does it matter? A lot of clients want to know that they are working with an architect. Many proposals that firms get ask about the number of registered architects in the firm, and they want to know that the people listed in the proposal are registered architects. So if the sooner you get registered, the sooner you become an attractive person to put in a proposal, which means you have a higher profile role, a named role on the project, just because you got your license. Many professional certifications, like the one that I have through the American College of Healthcare Architects, you can't even get unless you have been licensed for 5 years or more. That's a threshold criteria. So I can't function at the highest level in my area of expertise without getting that credential. Yet I can't get that credential if I never bothered to get my license. Many firms also tie promotions to whether or not you are licensed because many states tie firm ownership to the percentage of architects that work at the firm. They can't promote you if you are not licensed. So you can see how this investment in getting your license starts to have a real impact on your entire career trajectory. Even if you choose at some point to work part-time, even if you choose to leave the profession for a while, you will always have that license and it will always open doors for you. You all know I am about having success on your own terms. Getting that license is just one more bargaining chip in setting those terms. And finally, just like you need mentors and a support system now, you'll always need them no matter how far you go in your career. Also know that what you do sets a precedent for others. People are watching you. They're seeing what you do, and by seeing you do something, you're showing them that they can do it too. Every time you do something or achieve something, you become a role model for someone else. One of the biggest travesties I think that happens, and we do it to ourselves, is that we tell girls that they can do and be anything. We put all of this money and all of this focus on girls achieving things, putting girls in STEM. But what do they see when they enter the profession? If they see a bunch of women who are shortchanging themselves and underachieving, they're going to feel lied to. Why did they achieve all this? Why did they work so hard? If there's actually going to be all this pressure on them to not have that full and rich career that they were told they were going to get. I'll never forget when my daughter started kindergarten, she was transitioning from a very low ratio of teacher to student preschool, where she had a lot of individual attention, to a much bigger classroom with, frankly, a rather inept teacher who had the class doing a lot of meaningless, repetitive assignments. And we started to notice that she was struggling. We'd go on to find that she actually had ADHD. But after repeated issues where she was made wrong, she was sent to the principal's office, essentially painted to be a problem when she simply wasn't focusing on the work and the teacher didn't know what to do with her. We had a meeting with the principal. I was very appalled that the principal, who was a woman, tried to make the problem my daughter was having not about the classroom setting or teaching her skills to manage breaking down an assignment and get it done, which isn't that what kindergarten is for? Tried to make the problem about the fact that she was in an aftercare program and looked me in the eye and said, "It's too bad that you have to work. This is the kind of thing that has to stop. It is not too bad that I have to work." One of the greatest things that I have taught my children is that I can have a career filled with the accomplishments that matter to me, that I could be a great mom to them, but never have to give up on being a person who contributed to the world. And that is the kind of message that we need to be telling girls and other women. We don't have to trade quality of life for career. Career can be part of that quality of life. We can be proud of what we've achieved in our career and know that that achievement is a shining example to everyone around us. Success is not for the lucky few. Let's reach out to those who are ahead of us. Let's be that role model for those who are to come, that we really can do and be what we want, that we can have clarity and passion, courage and conviction, just as my grandfather taught me, and it has been a lesson that has served me my whole life. Every time I have said yes to an opportunity, every time I have fully committed Every time I have made my success non-negotiable, it has paid off. And that success, far from taking away from my quality of life, has been what has allowed me to have a higher quality of life. It has allowed me to have the financial resources as well as the social resources and network to be fully supported in having a career on my terms, enjoying time with friends and family, and living a life that I feel called to do. Luck really does favor the prepared, and that is the best news of all because it means all of us can be lucky. Take care, everyone, and I will see you next time.
Thanks for listening. If you want even more content, head on over to architectingpodcast.com and subscribe to my newsletter and get some great free downloads while you're there. Be sure to follow me on social media. On Instagram at Architecting Podcast, Facebook and LinkedIn pages are Architecting, and the YouTube channel Architecting Podcast. Stay inspired.